Did you know everyone has curiosity at some point in their lives when they think out of the box? Box is what society has been telling you. I call that the matrix. So you start thinking, how did this universe start? Why did it start? What is the purpose of my birth? Why is my birth and death not under my control? Why are some people born rich with more facilities? Why can't I fulfill all my wishes? Why do I have to sacrifice my dreams? Why do children die? Why do some bad people keep on doing bad and still die at a very old age? Why are there so many religions, including anti religion atheism? Why, if they all say the same thing, why not there's just only one that's the prime source and has everything together? Why so much division? There should be something which has the base with a rooftop, meaning everything all together. If you properly understand Bhagavad-Gita with in-depth analysis, then there is nothing more left to know. I mean the end. That's it. Every doubt is satisfied. No doubts left. So I will say it via the Rahul Gandhi way. Khatam. Bye bye. Tata. Goodbye. Gaya. So lifts the wall with one hand, pulls with other. So I'm continuing with Bhagavad Gita. Builds a house all day long and demolishes it at night. This double work he is doing is why Krishna is laughing. What can this laughter be other than the laughter at this duality of his personality? This schizophrenic, divided personality of Arjuna. But there is a lot of hint in Krishna's laughter. But I don't think Arjuna would have seen that laugh. And I don't think Arjuna would have heard that laughter. Read the last sutra further. The Lord said, you mourn for those for whom it is not appropriate to mourn, and also propound what is shown in the scriptures. Therefore, you who follow contradictory paths are not wise, but foolish, because wise people do not mourn about dead or living beings. What Krishna has said while laughing is even harsher. They tell Arjuna that you are speaking the language of the scriptures, but you are not a scholar. You are an idiot. So, scholar is like the meaning is Pandit in Hindi. Because despite speaking the language of the scriptures, the conclusion you are drawing are your own. He is speaking the language of the scriptures. What injustice will happen? What inauspicious things will happen? What bad things will happen? Arjuna is speaking the entire language of the scriptures, but he is imposing himself on the language of the scriptures. The conclusion he wants to draw is already there within him, just looking for testimony and support from the scriptures. There is only one difference between a fool and a pandit, meaning scholar. Even a fool can speak the language of scripture, and often he does. He can speak efficiently, but there is no conflict between being a fool and speaking the language of the scripture. But a fool extracts from the scriptures only the meaning he wants to extract. A fool has no use of the scriptures. The purpose is for himself purely. He also takes the scriptures with him as testimony. Simon Weil has written a sentence somewhere. It is written that there are some people who want to make the truth stand on their side, and there are some people who want to stand on the side of the truth themselves. Well, there are only two types of people. There are some people who want to put religion behind their back, want to put scripture behind them, and there are some people who have the courage to stand with the religion. But standing with the religion is a revolutionary step, because religion will destroy you. It will not let you escape. But taking religion on one side is very comfortist, very simplistic, very conservative step. So it's very conformist, because you search for convenience and security to protect yourself from it. Arjuna is speaking the language of a scholar, speaking like a scholar. But Arjuna has nothing to do with knowledge, wisdom. He wants to present all the scriptures in his favor. So he is taking the help from the scriptures. And the person who wants to make the scriptures stand in his favor naturally puts himself above the scriptures. And nothing can be more dangerous than placing oneself above the scriptures. Because he accepted that he was fine, there was no longer any possibility of him making a mistake. He made the final decision about his being correct. He wants to convey that there is nothing wrong in him. Now he searches for himself in the scriptures also. Christian mystics have one thing that even the devil quotes from the scriptures. Often they are observed quoting. There is no difficulty in quoting from the scriptures. The matter is simple. So that's what the Christian mystics are saying about the same Arjuna is doing. Arjuna is also quoting the same scripture. And the most interesting thing is that in front of which person Arjuna is quoting the scripture. When the idol of the scripture is standing in front, then only a fool can quote the scriptures. In front of which person is he speaking words of wisdom? When knowledge is standing in front, only a foolish person can speak borrowed words of knowledge. It is appropriate for Krishna to laugh, and it is also right for Krishna to say that Arjuna, you speak the language of a scholar, but you are actually acting like a barbarian. In front of whom? I have heard that a man went to Bodhidharma with a book of Buddha and asked Bodhidharma to explain something to him regarding this book. Bodhidharma said that if you think that I will be able to explain Buddha's book, then throw the book away and understood it from me only. And if you think Bodhidharma will not be able to explain Buddha's book, then throw me away. Understand the book itself by your own help. Krishna's laughter is very appropriate to whom Arjuna is handing over his knowledge. And the interesting thing is, the whole time he is saying, God to Krishna, God, oh God, hey Madhusudan, and quoting the scriptures. Some foolish people even approach God with scriptures. There is no end to his foolishness. If ever some people meet God, they will also quote from Gita in front of Krishna that it is written in Gita. So God will have to laugh and say, at least leave Gita now. But they will not still leave Gita behind. That Arjuna is doing the same foolishness of a common scholar, and Krishna is saying this directly and clearly. Such a simple and clear thing has been said very less of such talks have been said. Only Krishna can say in such a simple manner. Also there is a reason for saying, but it is difficult to say whether Arjuna will listen to this too or not. For most of the entire Gita, Arjuna plays the role of blind and deaf for a long time. Otherwise, perhaps there was no need for Gita. If he could open his eyes carefully and see Krishna, then the matter would be over. But he goes on saying God and is not even paying attention to Krishna, aka the God. The reason is simple, because Arjuna is representing entire humans, and that's why he is asking each and every doubt, whatever can arise in all the humans who are present now and will be born in the future. When God himself is the charioteer of Arjuna, if he really knows that Krishna is the God, then when Krishna has sat on the chariot as the charioteer and then the reins are in his hands, then why is Arjuna carrying the weight on his head in vain? To think, if Arjuna knows that Krishna is God, then what is the scope for asking more? The reins are in Krishna's hand. Leave it alone. But Arjuna says, God, I don't know yet. So guys, pay attention. Why did Arjuna, even after knowing Krishna is God, is asking so many doubts from each and every angle of life? It is for us, no one else. It is not personal conversation going on between God and Arjuna. Arjuna is trying to ask all questions on behalf of all of us. Arjuna is trying to help all mankind. Probably he doesn't even need help because Krishna is right in front of him. So don't consider it as a personal conversation. So it is for only our help, for all mankind.